Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Kayla Lords.
John Brownstone.
Of Loving BDSM, where we help kinksters like you have happy, healthy power exchange relationships.
That's the rumor.
We are back. We are back with a story time kind of video.
Yeah.
It seems that folks seem to like that, and I like talking and telling stories, so here we are. This one is more on you because, one, I have an awful memory, and two, you really like this topic.
Yeah.
Yeah. We are talking about the first time we ever tried rope bondage. A couple things. One, it is not my kink, but I am a willing participant. So when you hear me kind of like go, I fully consent and will consent again. But yeah, it's not my kink. I do it because it makes you happy and it doesn't bother me. It's not a hard limit. Also, we have talked about rope in the past. Most recently, we did a toy bag tour of your rope where we decided you needed more rope. You have not purchased more rope yet.
No, I haven't.
What is wrong here? But we will link to that.
So many choices, decisions.
I know. So let's go ahead and get right into it. And here's the only thing I remember about the first time we tried rope. Being pleasantly surprised.
Yes.
I was very ambivalent. I was like, oh, you want to do this? And then I must have had an image in my head of what I thought that meant. Because if I remember correctly, you will correct me, I know. The first time we really did anything with rope bond, you were tying me to the bed. Like, it wasn't a fancy tie. It was, like, immobilize me.
You were very standoffish when I started talking about rope bondage with you.
Yeah, I was like, it doesn't seem like anything I'm interested in. Now, I can admit, though, that the picture I had in my head was more of the Shibari kind of thing, the really fancy, pretty rope ties. And it wasn't that I had it, and I still don't have anything against it. I just couldn't, like, it didn't spark my imagination upon first hearing. Like, you say spanking and impact play, even before, like, I was fully into my kink self, I was like, hi, I'm here.
Yeah, I know.
I could envision
your ears perked up and...
Yeah, I can imagine what it felt like, and I was like, oh yeah, I'd like some more of that, please. But with rope bondage, I was like, for me, what is the point of being tied up? Like, I didn't get it. So it wasn't a hard limit. It wasn't like a boundary that wasn't allowed to be crossed, but I just was like, whatever.
Well, I think because of the way this played out with us, I think I'm going to kind of incorporate 2 times.
Oh, 2 first times.
With the rope, because they're, first let me start off by saying, yes, you were very reticent about the thought of rope when I brought it up. And I didn't push it with you, though I did, kind of mention it in passing as we went along.
Yeah.
And I think what kind of happened with you is you started to trust me.
For sure.
Okay, that we started building, trust between us. That you saw the type of person I was, that I, respected you. I never forced you into doing anything.
Right.
You kind of said, well, I guess I kind of like to try it.
Yeah, and I don't remember this directly. I just have always had this sense of, since we truly became like bonded together in a relationship and the trust was established, I want to make you happy. I want you to have what you want to have. Now, it does not mean I cross boundaries and I violate my own hard limits for it.
There's a difference.
Right. But I am willing to kind of try something that I'm not super excited about with you if I know you want to try it. And I have a vague memory of saying, if I don't like it, we don't have to do this again, right? Like, I feel like I probably asked that, and the answer was, of course.
So the first time we did it, I did wrist ties and ankle ties and tied you to the bed.
That was before we had an under the bed restraint thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was spread eagle. I was like, and I do like that.
You did.
I do like that a lot.
And I think what I liked was seeing you struggle against the rope.
Oh yeah, I for sure, when I am bound, whether it's rope or restraint kits or whatever, I like to tug at those. I like to see, well, what's my range of movement? How much give? And then once we're doing fun, sexy things, then I'm pulling because I'm like, I'm all into my expression when
Right.
it's pleasurable.
Mm-hmm.
The whole body gets into it.
So that was a fun first.
Yeah, it was a real simple tie, right?
Oh, it was very simple. Just a single column tie on each wrist and ankle, and then tied off to the.
If am I remembering correctly, that was the kind that, because of the way my hands were and the way you tied, I could actually grab the rope.
That was one I learned later.
Okay. See, there's so
Later.
many ties.
That was called a flogging cuff the
Oh,
second time,
see,
because
I
the
don't know.
way it came up, you could actually grip it in your hands.
Yeah, and I like that a lot.
And the pressure was actually off of your wrist, like with the
Yeah.
single column tie.
And I do like that kind of tie.
Mm-hmm.
I have learned. I like that sensation. We have that same experience on a St. Andrew's cross. I'll have my cuffs on and I'll be hooked to, usually it's chains on a cross, and I will hold on to them and I will pull against them as things get
Right.
intense. And so when you did that with rope bondage, when you learned that tie,
Mm-hmm.
I like to hold on and I yank.
Yep.
Which means you need a very strong
Mm-hmm.
bed.
Yes. Now the next time after that was the time I actually did try Shibari on you, and I did the chest harness.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. And also at that time, I had gotten you a Hitachi
Yes.
for Christmas.
The new name for it is Original Magic Wand. But
Yeah.
yeah, old timers know it as the Hitachi.
When I did the chest harness, I brought it down between your legs,
That's how you did that. That's
and I
interesting.
incorporated the Hitachi
Yeah.
into the tie.
That was very nice.
Then I did the bound you to the bed.
Yes, I still to this day I hear that sadistic laugh. So here's what I have this experience every time you do a harness. I mean, a chest harness. I'm always surprised at how good it feels when you're just like, because you're not like grabbing me while you're doing it, you're focused on the rope, but there's these really light sensual touches, and I'm always like, ooh, because I am naked, we're at home doing it on our own, so
Right.
I'm not wearing any clothes when this is happening. So there's all these really soft touches, and then you tend to use fairly soft rope.
Yes.
And so the rope glides across my skin, and that feels good. And then this is the thing that I learned to like about bondage. So it's still not a kink of mine, but I am more apt to go, yeah, sure, let's do that. And that's the squeeze element. So once you're wrapping, but then you'll tighten it or tie it off, and it's like I'm constricted for a minute, but not so constricted I get panicky. I have claustrophobic issues.
It's like a soft hug.
It is. It's like a hug, and but it's a very specific and very pointed areas kind of hug, and I like that. I like the closeness. I like it's very intimate when we do
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And I'm sure it's intimate for other people. I just can't speak to that. It is very intimate when we do it. That rope comes up between my legs, and I'm like, you didn't have to do it exactly that way and exactly that touch.
Yes, I
but
did.
okay, fine.
Absolutely.
I do get fidgety. That first time I was super fidgety.
Oh,
with
yes,
the,
you
with
were.
the chest harness. You were like, stand still. I'm like, but I'm tired of standing up. Is there another way we can do this? And I have learned over time, like, I'm like, do you need me to put my hand here and hold this so a rope doesn't keep flopping down?
Yeah.
And at the time, though, I was just like,
I was very fumbly
yeah.
with the rope then.
Well,
too.
and that's, practice and everything.
Yeah.
I do like, and I think we started this from the very first time we ever did rope bondage. Like, every time you pull out the rope, even if it's a super simple tie, you always take a picture.
Yes.
And I love that.
Mm-hmm.
And I love when you're using really pretty ropes. Like, of all your ropes that you showed in that toy bag episode,
Yeah.
Of your early rope, my favorite was the blue, because it was so striking against my skin, and I was like, oh, I like that. So there was a visual appeal, but man, standing still, I'm just like, and to this day, I'm still like, oh God, I hate this. There have been times, this is not the first time, this is just more recent. You were like, I want to do some rope bondage. I'm like, I don't want to stand up. You're like, you can lay on the bed. It's a leg tie. You can lay on the bed. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
just, But yeah, I want to be moving or my feet start to hurt or I get bored because I don't quite understand what's happening, even though I have gotten a little bit better because I've watched you enough now. I kind of get what's going on. I know where you need a little bit of help. I can communicate, hey, that's pinching. Hey, that's a little too tight. I'm better now than I was in the beginning.
Yes.
But I was like a small child. I don't know how you didn't just like smack my hand. You did growl a couple times. You were like, stand still. You're fucking this up. Stand still.
Girl. What are you doing, baby girl?
That's a little better now.
Yeah.
Not by much. Not by much. I like the end result.
Yeah,
I
you
like
do.
how it looks. I just wish we could get to that part faster. Like, could I skip the standing there and waiting?
Now, see, I have a tie I'd like to try, but I'm going to need you to do it.
I mean, okay.
It's a seashell tie.
What part of my body is involved?
Upper chest.
Oh, okay. Will there be pictures involved?
Absolutely.
There you go. And we just negotiated a rope scene.
There you
Bonus
go.
content. No, I have learned between those two first, the first Shibari style, the very first bondage experience, I prefer functional bondage. Whether it's rope or straps or whatever, I don't care. I want it to be part of an activity. I want it to be part of a sex act or impact play.
And most people call that bedroom bondage.
Do they really?
Yeah.
Huh, okay. To me, it's functional. It's function over form.
We attended a workshop on that.
I know, I wasn't listening to that part. I was watching them, I was watching him go, look, you don't have to know all the Shibari stuff. Do this simple tie. And look, you can yank your partner across the bed. And I was like, that is my kind of bondage. Please yank me across the bed by whatever method you need. But that is my preferred form of bondage.
Yes.
When you're like, I'm going to strap you to the bed, I'm like, here for it, down for it. But yeah, I don't dislike the other kind. I just don't, it doesn't fill me with excitement the way that impact play does. Yeah. And some of the other sensation play that we have done in the past, whether that's electro play or wax play or whatever. But there are enough elements of it that I enjoy that while I'm not necessarily missing it, I'm not going, hey daddy, can we play? When you're down for it, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do this. You know, I do remember, this is not a first, this is I think the last time you tied anything, you were doing a leg tie and I was looking at my phone at the same time.
Yes.
It was like, distract the baby girl so she doesn't fidget.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah, whatever it takes. So, yeah, I'm technically a rope bottom because I bottom for you. Yeah. I'm not one of the terms I hear used, it's not the only way of referring to it, but rope bunny is what a lot of people say. But I'm not an enthusiastic rope bottom. I'm not somebody who goes into rope space. I'm not seeking it out, but I am a willing participant.
Yeah.
With you.
I mean, for you, it's not a hard limit. No. But it's one of those meh things that
it started out as a soft limit, and then as our relationship developed, then I was like, yeah, I'll do it for you. And now I'm a little bit more enthusiastic for saying yes, but it's not something I'm gonna like. I'll say I could really use a spanking right now, thank you, but I'm not gonna say, could you please tie me to the bed? It's just not how I think. Yeah. But you are very much a rope top, and you are very much into.
I love the beauty of rope, and I peruse several websites that I'm always looking at different ties and like, oh, I'd like to try that. Oh, I want to do that one. Oh, that's beautiful. I love the beauty of the rope.
Is it something that you crave when you don't get it often enough? Like, before freaking pandemic, you might go to a club without me. You might partner up with somebody other than me, which I don't have a problem with. And you might have that outlet when I'm not.
I enjoyed that. When we lived back in Tarpon and I attended Phoenix Club, I actually attended a monthly rope group, and I enjoyed that. It kind of gave me my fix. That's the one thing I miss now living where we are.
And in a pandemic.
Yeah.
Because you could go to, we have community within a drive, I'm sure, and they're a big rope community there. So Yeah, we just can get through the pandemic, please. And then I send you off to play with your rope with my blessings. I want you to buy more rope so you have more pretty rope. And I'm here for, if you get a pretty color, I'm going to want you to, because I'm going to want the picture.
Sure.
And I think that's what it comes down to for us. So no partner in a power exchange or a kink relationship should feel forced to do an activity they don't want to do.
Right.
But it is also okay to agree to do something that's not a hard limit, that you're like, I don't really care about. But sure, for you, I'll do it. And then find what you like in it. Because for me, finding what I like about rope bondage is what makes it easier to go, yeah, let's do that. If that's what you want to do, I'm down for it, because I know what I like about it, even if I in no way consider it a kink. It's just not. It doesn't do that.
Think of the pictures.
The Instagram pictures. Do it for the gram. But yeah, that is our early experience with rope. Moving into our current experience with rope. Somebody who has got a kink can absolutely be happy and in a relationship with somebody who has not got that kink, and we can make it work. And that's mostly, I think, the moral of the story. You now have a mannequin.
Yeah.
To practice your rope ties on when I'm not around.
When you're not around or in the mood for it, I picked up a mannequin. It's a torso, and yeah, it's in there with a chest harness on there as we currently speak. It's been there, yeah.
Yeah, Liz with a chest harness on it. I'll know you've been doing your rope again when it's got something different on or a different tie. But yeah, so that's the other thing we've done is, you spent $45 on Amazon for that thing? Yeah. And you can play with your rope to your heart's content now. So yeah, that's our story of rope. If you are into rope, feel free to talk about it in the comments. I will leave those comment replies for John Brownstone. I mostly can go, oh, okay, and that's the extent of it. But if you are in a power exchange relationship or a kink relationship where one of you has a really strong kink and the other of you is okay with it, but it's not your kink, and you have found ways to work around that, feel free to share that experience down below, because I think that's more common than we realize. A lot of people think you're supposed to have completely compatible kinks, and of course you're not. So there are different ways to engage in these things. So that's it for us. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up. If you want more of it, we'd love it if you'd subscribe.
And hit that notification bell so you get notified of new content.
Sure. And if you really enjoy what we do, want to help us do more of it, want to get more behind the scenes content, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/KaylaLords. Bye.